guys, what's up? Welcome to my channel. For those of you that are new, my name is Orly. Welcome to the DIY Designer. I'm stoked that you found me today because this is such a solid DIY. This is the DIY that is perfect now that we're in the cozy fall months. It's gonna be even better as we get into the chilly winter months. And I swear you and I are gonna find excuses to wear it in the hot spring and summer months because it's just too cool. We are gonna be creating today the Miu Miu plaid crystal-encrusted jacket, which has a retail price of almost $4,000. That's a lot of the dollars. That is way too many of the dollars for you and I, and so we are gonna be DIYing it. It is surprisingly easy. I've got two incredible hacks that make this come together really fast. So literally you could do the entire thing in like an hour. It's awesome, it's such a beautiful statement piece, and it's really functional because it's cozy and it kind of goes on top of everything, like instantly transforming a boring t-shirt and jeans into like a look. So it's super cool. What you're gonna need for this is a mixture of crystals. You wanna make sure that you're getting all the same color tone. You wanna make sure that you get a wide variety of sizes. So I went to a place downtown called Bohemian Crystal or something like that. And basically they've got them all on the wall. So I just picked all the different ones I wanted. And when all was said and done, it ended up being a total of about $70 for all the crystals. So that's really the cost. That's like 100% of the cost of this basically. I went to a thrift store, found a men's padded flannel jacket, which costs $4. That's what I used. So really all of the cost comes into the crystals. Even though it's got all those crystals, it's not really fancy. Like it's kind of cool and mellow and great for these chilly months. All right, so that's what we're gonna do today. Let's get right into materials. I'm on Home and Family today and I'm doing flannels, like how to customize flannels. So this one I used some of the leftover crystals from my Timberland boots and I added like crystals all over and a little on the pocket. They're all really fun ways to see what I have to deal with. That. Oh, Rolando, always giving me a hard time. All right, guys, this is a super simple one, so I figured I'd throw it in as a bonus. And basically all that you're gonna do is take your gem glue and decide where you want it to go. For me, I thought that sort of skipping every other square and applying my larger crystals was the right way to go. So again, these are the crystals I used in my Jimmy Choo Timberland boots. If you guys didn't see those, they are incredible, and I had tons of leftover crystals. So you can see I'm just sort of skipping. I don't know, they're probably spaced about every 2 inches, and this is gonna be dependent on your flannel and the size of your crystals. But once you get going, it starts to move really fast because again, they're only sporadically placed. So I did all of my large ones first, and when I was done with that, I decided I wanted to take some of those medium-sized ones and go in between. So basically, almost like a diamond. So I went into the center on the next row, but spaced in between both. That way there was gonna be a really nice balance of all of the crystals throughout. Again, your glue, tiny droplet, use your gem picker. That thing is like a time saver like none other. And the last thing I did, which I kind of forgot to film, was just basically this crusted pocket. I didn't want to do the whole thing because I thought it would be a little rhinestone cowgirl, but I thought this sort of ombre effect would work really well. And again, the technique is similar to the Timberland boots where I just sort of fit all the different sizes together and then sporadically went less and less. Okay, so now we're gonna do the Miu Miu version. Basically what you wanna do is get the shoulder seam exposed because you're gonna be putting crystals not only on the front, but up over the shoulder and down the back. We're gonna do a little on the shoulder, like the sleeve as well. So you wanna take all of your crystals and separate them in half. So everything that you bought, divide half onto one plate, half onto another. That way you evenly distribute them. If you try to just eyeball it, you're always gonna end up with less on one than the other. So splitting them in half is always a great way to start. Now, first thing I did was take all of my larger ones and just start placing them without any glue or any needle and thread. Just start to get the general sense of your design. That way you know if you need to make adjustments before anything is actually tacked down. So this is where I was at with all of my larger ones. I still have a ton of smaller ones as well. What I'm gonna do is just put a droplet of glue on the back of each one. This is not holding it down for good. What this is doing, and this is really the hack I was talking about at the beginning, is that it's going to secure everything in place so that when we do go in and hand sew, they're not gonna slip and slide and move every time you get your hand inside the jacket in order to sew it. So basically everything is tacked into place exactly where I want it to go with just a little bit of the glue. And now I grab my needle with clear thread and I'll go in and hand sew them all down. So here you can see I'm doing it. Now, another thing that saves a ton of time is it's sort of natural, like when you do a button, to come in through the hole. So you kind of poke around to find the hole. This would take you forever. So instead, come up right next to the crystal and then go back down into the hole. It's the identical thing. You're going in through the hole and looping around, but instead of blindly doing it from the underneath side, you're doing it from the top. Now there's two ways that you can do it here. After each one, you could knot it off like this. Go through, do a half a stitch, put your needle through the hole, pull tight. You do that twice and that one would be knotted off. Then you would start the next one. The other option, which I really recommend and saves a lot of time, is skipping over to the next crystal wedged in between the lining and the flannel. So what I'm doing is I'm running my needle in between the two layers of fabric so that I'm not seeing it from the front or the back, but I'm skipping over right to where my next crystal is. Again, I'll come up right next to my crystal, go down in through the hole so that I don't need to try to blindly find it. And that way all of the little like skip stitches that I do are not gonna be seen from the inside of my jacket. I'm not gonna see all these giant little strips of plastic or clear thread there. Once you do about 7 or 8 of them and you start to get maybe 5 inches left of your your thread, you're gonna wanna knot it off and then start a new one. And now it's time to add in all of the tiny ones that are gonna really fill in the space and make it feel super encrusted. Now, these are not sew-ons. These are just regular flat back crystals which need to be glued on. And what I started doing is I started figuring out exactly where I was gonna put each shape coming up next. So when I put down my glue, I actually started drawing the glue in the shape of whichever crystal I was gonna do. That way it was a perfect match. So for those like long skinny ones, I did a long skinny line of glue. For the tiny little stars, I did a small droplet. For the bigger diamonds, I did bigger ones. You're gonna sort of know like, okay, I think I know what I'm putting here, and make sure that your glue is gonna match, that way it all fits in evenly. Now, at this point, this is really just filling in the spaces as evenly as possible. In order to get the Miu Miu look, you really want to have a super encrusted center shoulder and then have it kind of like ombre out, like fade out. So I realized I needed some more. So I ran back to Bohemian Crystal and I bought some more of the small ones. And this is why I was saying originally it was $58.20. I went back for some more and that brought my total to about $70. I ended up buying these really fun little skulls, which I loved, and a couple of flowers. So I found some that I really liked. But the process is the same. You're just gonna add your glue, fill them out, focus on the shoulders to make sure that is where the most saturation is, and then start naturally fading out. I also decided to do them all across the back, like the shoulder blades. That way it didn't just stop out of nowhere on my shoulders, it went all the way across the back. Once this is done, you're gonna wanna give it about 24 hours to dry and we're done. It's so good. It actually killed me not to wear it like right now because I want to wear it all day long every day. It is so freaking cool. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, I hope that you'll subscribe if you haven't already. And if you could share this with a friend, man, that would be so helpful. Let your friends know that this channel exists. I release new videos every Friday, so there's always great content I'm working on for you guys. And it would really mean the world to me if you would share it with a friend, screenshot it, post it on your social, tag me. And if you do this project, please send it to me. I want to see your version of it. You can always send that to me at Orly Shani on Instagram. That's probably the easiest way. All right, guys, well, have a beautiful week, and let's do our model sesh, shall we?